Hiya, and welcome back to Password, the game that teaches us that... In this world, there are a couple constants. There are about 4 constants. No, 5 constants. There are 5 constants. Taxes, death, the Yeen having crippling anxiety and depression, the Bacon dying, and Dean preferring to hold a different type of gun. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I stepped out into the foyer in search of Dean. He'd know what to say, right? Or at least, he'd be willing to listen. Dean? No response came as I called out into the foyer. Even checking some of the side rooms, he didn't seem to be on the ground floor of the mansion as far as I could tell. I wandered over to the back door and froze briefly, hand hovering just above the handle. Breathing in, I took hold and opened it up, looking out into the yard. Dean, are you out here? Hiding halfway behind the door, I scanned the yard. Just as I was about to head inside, I noticed him stick his head around the corner and wave. At the greenhouse! Come on! Looking around again, I couldn't see anything lurking among the trees, but almost sprinted over to the greenhouse where Dean was waiting for me. Slow down, you might bump into something. Patting me on the shoulder, we stepped inside and he started moving things around before addressing me again. So, what's new? What do you mean, what's new? Well, you did just come sprinting out of the house, plus you were calling for me. Did something happen? No, but I just wanted to talk. We need to talk! Well, I need to talk. Would you mind hearing me out? Have me a word there for a second. But of course, what's on your mind? He sat down on a few sacks of soil, leaving me to find a place to sit on an overturned ceramic pot. I'm worried, Dean. Worried about when we'll get to go home, whenever the next bad thing is going to happen. I just can't keep it together. Well, we will get home eventually. Just might take a bit is all. Do you think anyone off the mountain knows about the road? Honestly, it's hard to say. I know that when an explosion happens, people tend to notice. No chance someone didn't notice an explosion happening in the middle of the night. That's true. Think they'll send someone to fix it? Not fix it then. Send someone to help us get off the mountain? Maybe send supplies? But how likely is that? That they know someone's even up here? There's a road, and presumably the mailman would know how to deliver out this way, assuming they get mail sent to the door. I don't remember anyone like that showing up in the first week. Maybe Benson just makes trips into town to collect the mail from a private box. Who knows? Maybe. I hung my head and caught Dean rubbing his knees, the silence stretching between us. What do you need to hear, Dave? What do you mean? I can't in good faith say that we're getting out of here soon. Just that it'll happen eventually. Doing our best to stay safe and deal with what happened, but beyond that, I don't know how else I can help. I just wish I understood more of what's happening around me is all. My mind wandered over to the license Thanatos had given me. What it meant that Dad had been here and why I was here now. I found out my dad was here recently, plus all the stuff about seeing people die. Wait, your dad was here recently? But isn't he? No, I mean, I only just found out about it, like, yesterday evening, even. You sure? I have his license to prove it. Slumping in my seat, I watched as Dean got up and knelt in front of me, placing his hands on my shoulders. Well, what can we tackle? Did you want to look into why your dad was here, or... I know why my dad was here, but... Dean flashed me a wry smile before I continued. Plus, I got the vault working again, that's another worry. You, what? Yeah, it happened yesterday, and it's bad. What did you say? Would you even want to know? It was bad enough stepping in when I saw Sal in there. You know how that went. I think I'd want to help. At the very least, to maybe stop things unfolding like they did last time. You're sure? What kind of friend would I be if I let you suffer through this alone? I guess so. Worst thing that could happen is, well, I suppose whatever you saw coming true. But it'll be easier to prevent with the two of us. Right, okay, well, before we get into that, there was one other thing, too. What's that? I want to talk about how I saw you die. What? Again? We didn't get anywhere last time. We don't have a suspect or even really know how you died. And just, that happened, Dean. I stopped it, but, like, if I didn't, someone would have had to do it, right? Well, I suppose so. Where do you want to start with that, then? Slumping again where I sat, I sighed. I don't know. All I do know is that it doesn't sit right with me. Should I get Orlando again? I think it's probably best to leave him alone after this morning. If he's clashing with Tyson, then he's probably holed up somewhere distracting himself. Well, if it's just the two of us, where do you want to start? I don't know. We ruled out the death cap being the cause of death because of the time frame. You're still alive in front of me, so if you died from that, it would have happened days ago. Right? Is there anything else in here that could kill? Plenty of things if you ate or drank enough of it. Pesticides, for example. You wouldn't try that, would you? Or even accidentally, you did try the wax apple that one time. You remember that? Hiya. I remember you getting told off for trying. Shucks. But no, I'd know what I was eating if it was any of those. The smell will give it away. So it's something from outside of the greenhouse. But then we're back to how it happened, right? We just went out to the woods that day. Nothing special happened, did it? You wandered off, but I'd say so. Mushroom foraging with you, then again with Roswell, then Orlando made dinner, and you needed to break outside during it after what you saw. Yeah, I trailed off before I could apologize, remembering something else that came up when we were talking with Orlando. Roswell. What was that conversation about anyway? What? You mean the one after we got back? Yeah, you seem so sure that Roswell couldn't have been it, but you never really went into details about what you two spoke about. For good reason, Dave. But wasn't it all good stuff? Dean sat back on the ground messing with his hands before looking away. Ah, lad. Wasn't all great, but most of it was. What was the part that wasn't? But sorry, but that's best coming from Roswell if you really want to know, but I still stand firm that he couldn't have been the one to do it. But why? Be on the lookout for a sneaky Sal. Oh no! Why? Part of what we talked about was the whole Orlando pushing us together thing, right? He expressed that he was happy we were into each other enough to consider seeing if it'll work. That sounds fine, but I don't get why that clears him. Because of the promise he asked me to make him, that no matter what happens, that I'll look out for you. So in the face of that, I don't think it could be him. Wouldn't make sense, would it? No, I guess not. He's got a firm grip, though. Didn't think he'd have one when I offered to shake on it to sell the promise. You shake hands when you make promises? It seems serious enough to do something. You've never shaken my hand before. Maybe he was the one that offered. You'd think I'd remember something that only happened a couple weeks ago. Less than that, even. I guess it's not that important, but still, outside of asking Roswell, there's not much else to go off of. Even then, after we came inside, everyone was already around for dinner, so who knows? I struggled to think back to what I'd seen. If there was anything important, the vision lingered just at the back of my mind, barely visible. You shook hands with Roswell. Yes? With your left or right hand. Is that important? Dean lifted his hands, miming a little before settling on one of them. Left hand, pretty sure it was my left hand anyway. My heart sank and a chill went up my spine. Could have just been me misremembering, but something about it seemed off, something that just didn't add up. What's wrong? Nothing. Dean picked up that I was lying immediately, puffing out his cheeks as he looked torn on how to approach asking. Come on, Dave. What's wrong, really? Before you tell me no, just hear me out, okay? Alright. What if it was Roswell after all? Okay, what if it was Roswell? I could be misremembering, but there was something on your hand, like, I don't know what it could be. Sugar, maybe? And sugar means Roswell? Well, no. Well, actually, yes, but not this time, or it might be just more the fact that it was on the hand he shook. So just so I understand this, right, we're assuming Roswell, who made me promise for me to look out for you, shook my hand, put something on it, and then at some point I died from it? Sal is always on the lookout. Don't shake his hand. At some point I died from it? I mean, the look Dean was giving me was a mix of worry and concern. Are you sure you want to go down this road, Dave? He's your friend. But he could be the one who tried to kill you. But if something was on his mind, wouldn't he have died? You interrupted me during dinner, not him. Also means that he'd kept his cool for days after, too. Plus, if it was just death cap spores, he would have died after 6 days, too, right? What if it wasn't death cap spores? I'm just saying that if you go accusing him, what proof do you have that isn't just going to upset him if you're wrong? But Dean held up a hand briefly before settling it gently on my shoulder. If Roswell planned to do it, and that's a big if, I can't think of any reason why he'd do the things leading up to it. If you want to go accusing him of something that he didn't end up doing, well, even if he planned it, think about how the others would think too. They might brush it off as you being paranoid, or any number of things really. But do you think we can afford that extra stress with everything going on? He could be anywhere, in the pool, in the forest, in your pants. Oh no! Dean, I just don't like the idea that someone tried to kill you. I don't like it either, but we can't go around accusing people for things that didn't happen, can we? There's been plenty of time for him to try again, and you haven't come to me saying that I'm in danger, have you? No, I guess not. I got up from my seat and looked out of the greenhouse towards the mansion. I fiddled with my hands as Dean came up behind me and hugged me, hooking his arms under mine. For what it's worth, I appreciate you being so worried about me, though. It's fine, really. Maybe I'm still just spooked something could happen to you. Any of you, really. So what happens now? Did you want to talk about this some more, or did you want to go ask Roswell? I struggled with the decision, not sure what I wanted to do given the doubt of me being right or wrong. No, at least not just yet. I just don't know who else it could be, but I also don't want to go doubting a friend. If we discover anything else, we can always come back to it. I nodded slowly, breaking free of Dean's hug to turn around and give him one of my own. His arms wrapped around me again with one of his hands reaching up to stroke the back of my head. There's still the password thing to solve too. Right, you never did get around to telling me what's going on with that. Tyson. It's Tyson. He's going to die? From what? No, he's the one who, killed someone? Are you sure? I don't want to believe it, but what was left of Orlando was enough. He looked crazy, maybe? Given how he was behaving this morning, I suppose I could say it, but you're sure he did the killing. He was covered in blood, so pretty certain. That doesn't give us a lot of options. We can't go asking him about it either. They mentioned the name of the V in roll credits. Oh no! Well, I guess that's that. Time. Roll credits. That's all, folks. Roll credits. You know, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. But now it's time to end it. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. That doesn't give us a lot of options. We can't go asking him about it either. Because he hasn't done it yet. Can you imagine how that conversation might go? I don't think given his current mood he'd like being accused of murder not only with no evidence, but just because you saw him maybe do it in the future. Also high up hack. Well, now I feel like I'm crazy. Venus? I didn't mean it like that. I just mean that if you're going to approach it, maybe there's a way to do it without confronting him. What do you suggest? This is clearly important to you, so other stuff can wait. You have any clues that can give us a starting place? I do not want to go into story time. Not again. It's clearly important to you, so other stuff can wait. Do you have any other clues that can give us a starting place? Maybe? I stepped back from Dean, frowning. Things Thanatos had said yesterday, things Tyson had said yesterday. I had 2 clues to go off of so far. The full moon and his headaches. Ty said yesterday that he was getting headaches, really bad ones, typically in the morning. That's not good. Right, so maybe there's something going on to stop him sleeping, or maybe something's happening in his room? Shall we go check? There's something else too. The vision I had happened on the full moon. Don't tell me! Tell you what. Full moon? Tyson? Killing someone? That's just screaming werewolf, isn't it? My eyes narrowed a little. Not sure what to make of Dean making the conclusion just based on those bits of information alone. But they do exist, don't they? At least Tyson hasn't given me the impression he'd go that feral. Right, well, it turns out the word I used was just that. Werewolf. This almost feels like a sick joke. After seeing what I saw, it'd be hard to describe Tyson as anything else, really. So, we need to find out when the next full moon is, plus we should probably check Tyson's room just in case something's going on in there. But I have a proposal about that. About how to approach this. Right, chances are Tyson would not be pleased about finding us in his room, but he might overlook it if it's just you. You're saying to split up? Pretty much. I can ask around when the full moon is, and we can meet back up later. Might give me a chance to ask Roswell a few things, too. And that's safe? More like, was Wolf. That's safe. As grim as it is, if anything happens, you'll know for certain if it's Roswell, right? I don't think I like that implication, but maybe splitting up just this time is fine. In either case, Any other case, we shouldn't split up, but we'll just be around the house. Anything goes wrong and just yell. It'll be fine. Oh? Someone in the Discord? Let me check. Oh, someone joined it? Yeah, let me check. I don't know that person. No, okay, but where are we meeting afterwards? How about you come down to the dining room and we can take a load off there? Yeah, but... Hang on. Alrighty. I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally fuck up my headphones. Dan and I headed back to the house with the plan to meet back up after I'd finished looking around. Yay, murder! High toes. Thanatos, you need to put those grippers away. He frowned quickly, tapping his foot. He frowned quickly, tapping his toes. Speaking of, didn't need to hear any of what you and that bear got up to. I felt myself blush under my fur, unaware that someone was listening. It was just me listening in, though. I wasn't going to broadcast that and give myself away when questions started to be asked. Oh! Calling him Tiny Toes now. Thanatos the Tiny Toes. I made my way downstairs and was about to head into the dining room before almost running into Dean on his way out. Ow! Sorry, I was just coming back. It was Whale, I was about to come looking for you. Did the search go, Whale? It went well, I think. I've made progress. Dean scratched his neck, nodding slowly. I don't know how it's going to help in the long run, but I managed to run into House and he knew when the next full moon was. That's good! Right? Hopefully, but what now? And you should probably keep an eye out for a certain... crocodile. What now? Well, I know I could go for another coffee, so how about I brew some and we can go sit down in one of the rooms over there to chat? Oh, sure. I promise I won't be long. I went on ahead, splitting off from Dean and making myself comfortable. The room itself was like many of the others that lined the first floor, maybe all repurposed into the same thing for convenience. It was hard to say. What was apparent, though, was that the room felt lonely or otherwise neglected as it just didn't have a use anymore. Between Oswin and Benson, though, that wasn't enough to make use of the space. Not that they seemed to mind, but it seemed a little bit wasteful. Sorry for the white. Handing me the mug carefully, he dropped down next to me, almost spilling his own but recovering as he settled into the chair. So, how'd the search go? It went alright. I went up to Tyson's room and turned out that there was, like, I struggled to figure out how best to explain it. Taking a sip of my coffee brought me enough time to think of a convincing lie. So there wasn't anything wrong with his bed, really, just something under it that was setting off this noise, but it was making my head hurt. There was something like that under his bed? How'd it get there? Well... Dropping my gaze quickly, I grimaced, hoping Ty would forgive me for telling on him. Ty's been stealing things from around the house, it looks like, so probably something he picked up from somewhere. His room was a mess, so chances are it just rolled under the bed. I scratched my cheek, wondering if it was convincing enough, and checked to see Dean's reaction. Huh. What? Normally I'd have some choice words to say about stealing, but I think maybe this once he suffered enough. Be worth asking him directly, though, after we're in the clear. There is, Amethyst, there is a lot to unpack there. Oh, we're after we're clear. Right, we can't have him stealing things. Not that I blame him. It's rough back home, but still. Might not need all that stuff if we come away from this vacation with that money that was offered. Dean, we can't just take that, can we? I'm just saying that. Maybe that's an option we can look at later. Something that doesn't get him accused of something bad on top of everything else that will be going on when we escape. I guess. What about your investigation, though? I think I've solved the reason Ty goes nuts, but unless we know how long I need to keep that checked off, it's not very useful to us. Tomorrow night, actually. I nodded slowly, drinking again. So, just getting him through tonight and tomorrow night and we're in the clear. Should be easy enough. This feels like something we should be telling the others. I'd rather not, but I have a reason. Oh yeah? Just between the two of us, I think we have it solved. But if we go telling the others, then they'll know. Isn't that kind of the point? No, I mean, think back to what we said in the greenhouse. Someone wanted you dead. Maybe that same person wanted Orlando dead and was just using Tyson to do it. So it's like when you were worried about Benson all over again. About the killer getting away because now everyone knew what was going to happen. I guess sort of like that, yeah. Well, I'd like to have a group talk about it after we're clear. It's better we're all on the same page, and chances are by then the person behind it would already know their plan failed. Right. Dean and I just sat there quietly for a bit, drinking our coffee before we broke the silence. So, what did you want to talk about now? This might be coming out of nowhere, but what was your ex-boyfriend like? I also think Sal might be onto you again. I say that because... Shit. Dean almost choked on his coffee, coughing and spluttering as he tried setting down his mug. Sorry, we don't have to talk about that if you don't want. No, just that really did catch me off guard. What did you want to know about him? What was he like? Well, it's been a few years since we last saw each other, so I can only really tell you what it was like when we were, dating. I suppose it was like that. Was he like me? Dean looked me over, thinking hard. Short about a fair bit, wasn't a hyena either. What about not physical things? Let's see. He was stubborn, really stubborn, but he took charge and that was kind of nice. I could just take it easy and he'd sort things out. Sounds kind of like Tyson. Oh no, maybe I'm phrasing it wrong. It was more upfront, maybe. He was a kind soul at heart, but was just very selective on who he dropped his shields around. So what made him drop them around you? Honestly, I don't really know. Maybe he'd just lash onto me because I was bigger. Maybe it was something else, but I'm glad he did. Honestly, I don't really know. Yeah, I already read that. So, he's like Tyson. Rami wasn't like Tyson. At least I don't think so. So, how are we similar then? Similar? Let me think. Well, he wasn't a hyena. Wasn't my height. He sounds like Tyson. Maybe you should date Tyson. I'll pass, thank you very much. I snickered, setting down my coffee before I spilled it. Come on, I'm just looking out for what things we have in common. Like, why me? Well, physically, the similarities aren't all that much. It's mostly just the teeth and the eyes. Without realizing I was rubbing my teeth, trying to puzzle it out. That's really the only thing that caught my eye, silly as it is. I think it's a cute look, but what really got me was that look in your eye that told me that you were someone sensitive deep down. Well, I am, except also not so deep down, too. Yeah, I get that, but at the time you were just kind of there. That makes sense. What I saw was something closer to like the you inside. I wanted to get to know that person better. You know that normal people don't go asking people out on dates out of the blue, right? Well, it worked. We're here now, aren't we? I guess that's true. Oh, right, before I forget. Tomorrow night, I need you for a thing. What kind of thing? A good thing. You'll like it. Is this the thing you mentioned yesterday? Maybe. What about stopping Tyson? I promise it won't take long. Take all night. I don't know, Dean. Trust me. Hang on. Trust me. He reached out and took my hands in his, flashing that smile at me. Well, if you say it's a good thing, sure. Dean settled back, pleased with the answer, and took up his coffee again. And that's it? Until tomorrow, yep, don't need to worry about anything else aside from spending the rest of the day waiting for dinner. We chatted some more about random things with the next round of coffee made by me. Then we went back out to the greenhouse for a bit, just so Dean could check on a few things before we headed inside for the day to take it easy some more. Hi, Baconator. Whopper Jr. Without thinking, I just went right to Dean's room, stripping down to my underwear and opening the door to the bathroom. Oh! I walked right into Dean, the smell of soap lingering on his fur. A hand reached out and grabbed me to stop me falling backwards onto the floor, and once stable, he brushed me off. Well, this is a surprise. You weren't planning on joining me in the shower, were you? Oh, not exactly, no. Probably for the best anyway. All that work in the greenhouse made me feel kinda gross, and being able to wash in my own pace is nice. He looked me up and down before gesturing back to the bathroom with his thumb. You're welcome to grab a shower, though. I'm sure you'll explain everything once you're out. Oh, there's not all that much to explain, really. Tyson's going to borrow my room, and I just assume that you can share my bed? Well, yeah, that's fine, right? All things considered. Even if you didn't have that excuse, I'd be alright with it. Go on, go get clean. Wasting no time, I jumped into the shower, starting to scrub. Dean's shampoo was still here, and I took some for myself, assuming that too was fine. That gay ass. Oh no! Oh! I didn't even realize it. Like, I initially did like the normal Dave. Oh, but I realized that it was Dean saying that. But so I had to very quickly fix it. Just like, so I added like a at the end. So like R. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Why did I explain it? Wasting no time, I jumped into the shower. So yeah, I already read that. The smell of honey hit my nose. That sweet scent lingered as I rinsed off after thoroughly lathering up. Midway through, I heard Dean enter the bathroom again, and I froze in place. Dean? Everything okay? Just doing my teeth. Hard to let the others know that you've resurfaced as well. No one seemed to know you were back from search. Oh, yeah, I guess I just forgot. You should be more careful than that. He chuckled, and I could hear some thorough scrubbing going on. I continued washing, rinsing myself off as Dean left the bathroom, having finished brushing his teeth. Stepping out of the bathroom with my towel, I flicked off the light before stepping into my underwear. Feeling better? Come on. We have different O's. I know we have different O's. I know you all have different O's. Feeling better? I feel clean at least. Better, well, will just depend on how things turn out tomorrow. You have every right to be worried, but it should sort itself out now, right? Yeah, I guess so. Yawning, I wandered over to the bed where Dean was sitting and dropped down next to him. I cuddled up close to him, running my hands through the fur on his chest, and turned to face him properly before kissing him gently on the cheek. Oh? I'm glad I have you at the moment, Dean. Just thanks, I guess. Careful, Dave. I don't think you want to get me excited right before bed. I chuckled, nuzzling into the softness around his neck, and he hooked an arm around me to hold me close. Sorry. How about just a kiss and we turn in? The smile I gave him must have sufficed as my answer as he shifted me so I was in his lap and dipped me back enough to kiss me. It took my breath away and I melted against him as I relished his tongue against mine. Shifting around and using my size to lay down in bed, he eased away and lay down beside me, leaving me breathing hard and heart racing. No words needed to be said between us, even as he got us both under the covers and he cuddled me behind. It was warm and comforting, and at least for the time being I felt safe. Day 19. I woke with a start, bundled up in a mass of brown fur. I was flat on my back with Dean's arm over me like a fuzzy blanket. He had me covered, only adding to that protected feeling that was carrying over from the night before, and I lay there watching him slowly mumble in his sleep. They were just noises, although he seemed to be having a conversation in his sleep from just how often he moved his mouth. Dean. As I called to him, he frowned, as if pained slightly, and slowly opened his eyes to look at me, dazed. Huh? Morning. Good morning, handsome. He cuddled me in close briefly before shuffling over to kiss me on the cheek, settling back with a sigh. You sound tired still. Only a bit. The yawn that followed betrayed him and he rubbed his eyes. What about you? I think I'm tired but not wanting to sleep anymore. Bad dreams? Something like that. Did you want to talk about it? No, it's alright, or I guess I'll talk about that later at some point. You're sure? Yeah. Again, he yawned, almost settling back down on his pillow. It's still early, you can go back to sleep if you want. He flashed me a smile and closed his eyes, about to say something, but whatever it was soon became a quiet snore. I shuffled out from under his arm and got dressed, shooting him a smile as he started to shift around looking for something to cuddle in my absence. Shifting the pillow I was laying on into his reach, he cuddled it into his chest while I made my way out of the room. Well, that's adorable. But if that was happening later, what could fill out the rest of my day? Maybe ask Orlando? He'd know what to do about meeting up for a date, surely. Although thinking about it, Orlando hadn't ever really talked about dating anyone or what it was like to go on a date. Maybe he was just as clueless as I was, but it was still worth checking, right? Oh god. I at least want to reread the key lime pie scene of the date. I at least want to reread that. Maybe I should have asked Dean himself. That seemed kind of silly to make a thing of it in the evening if we were going to spend all day together anyway. Giving up, I slumped against the railing of the front deck and looked out over the lawn. Dave. Oh, hi. Dean set his cup aside and wandered closer, leaning forward to press his nose against my head as his hands found themselves on my waist. You had me a little worried this morning when you weren't in bed with me. Sorry, just wanted to go for a walk after you went back to sleep. I guess I needed it. I slept pretty well. Would you have liked me to come back to bed? Well, now I'm not so sure. Everything okay? I think so. I just had stuff on my mind is all. The usual. If that changes, you let me know, alright? Even if you want to talk about some of this stuff, I'm here to listen if you need me. I nodded slowly and I set my mug aside so I could hug him around the middle. I will. Mind if I hang out here while I make breakfast? None of the others seem up yet. Oh, sure, no worries. This fucking scene! This fucking scene! I'm sorry, but like, the fact that Roswell's just shaking. You're right? Like, just the energy. I'm sorry, but just like, thinking that Roswell is like holding a plate and I think a strainer over Thanatos and just shaking it. Poor guy just gets thrown in gay baby jail. At this point, it's not even gay baby jail. At this point, it's not even gay baby jail. It's just... It's just... a jail that Roswell created because he can. Jail. Stepping out and... that's too long. Like... Roswell fucking shaked it! Why did I think of Super Jail, that show from Adult Swim? Please tell me one of you knows about Super Jail from Adult Swim. Like, I will consider myself old as hell if no one else does. I know I say that a lot, but seriously.
I'm back, what the fuck did I miss?
Thank you, Pat! Thank you! Thank you! Stepping out into the fresh air, I started my trek over to the greenhouse, my mind wandering. I was so distracted I didn't see where I was going and ran right into a massive yellow. Ah! Orlando! Just as I'd recognized him, he had his hands on my shoulders. Sorry, Dave. You're spending the day with... Why was I giving him cross between an Orlando and Dean voice? You're spending the day with me. Sorry, Dave. You're spending the day with me. Why did I do... but I was looking for... I know who you're looking for, and you'll see him later. He's busy right now. Doing what? Important bear business. Business you can't know about until later, but I promise it's harmless. Oh! I looked past him to the greenhouse, pouting. Well, okay, what did you want to do? Honestly, I need to get something sorted out in the kitchen for later, but after that I just wanted to play some games with my best friend. I have a choice, Orlando? No! You don't have a fucking choice. I will use my experience in the fucking mafia if you say no. Okay, Jesus Christ. Before I could get another word in, He had me by the hand and marched me back inside, then through the foyer into the dining room and finally into the kitchen. Are we cooking something? Just me. I have something particular I need to get going for tonight. But what is it? Lemon curd. Ew. I'm getting the impression you don't know what that is. Sure I do. That's what cows eat, right? What? Oh, no, you're thinking cud. Oh, that's what's curd, like curdled milk, but with lemons? No, I shouldn't have called it that. Just think of it as lemon butter. Oh, I like those things. I swear, you and Dean are a great match. Should I just wait? Please, it won't take me long to put together, and it's probably the most important thing needed for tonight. You went about grabbing... I haven't actually had lemon curd. God damn! Cheese. No, like, goddamn! Just... He went about grabbing bits and pieces before settling into cooking what it was on a pot of stove. He recognized lemons, butter, and something else with them. It looked like a cross between an orange and a lemon at the same time. I went to ask and Orlando just continued working, holding a finger up to his mouth as if telling me it was a secret. Honestly, it wasn't all that long before he was done and was pouring what he'd made into a container. Just need to let it cool and we'll be good to play games. So, what do we do in the meantime? Well, for starters, I want to ask you something about Dean. Shoot, what did you want to know? You're happy with him, right? I don't understand the question, like, as a friend? No, as a boyfriend. But we're not yet, are we? You tell me, you've been dating for a while now, right? That's... complicated. Complicated how? Dean took me on a picnic a little while back, maybe a week ago. We talked about the sort of stuff and what exactly we were. And what are you? I don't know. He said he wanted to do the fancy dinner thing first, and then we'd just be dating. Is that how that works? He said, that dating is the getting to know someone first. Boyfriends are when you're, past that step, I guess. So, tonight is the deciding point? I suppose so, huh? No pressure, then. But I suppose we've been getting to know each other a bit over the past... Oh god, how long has it even been? I think the phrase you're looking for is long enough, but yeah, we're both kind of, I gestured with my hands and Orlando nodded slowly, thinking it over. Well, I hope that after tonight you get past that step, you know? I hope so too. Honestly, like, it's nice getting to this point, feeling official and all that. Then I'm glad. You deserve something nice amidst all this. You two will make a nice couple for sure. No pressure, huh? Orlando shook his head, chuckling. No pressure, you've basically been doing all this before anyway. It's just more official. Then we'll be boyfriends? Hopefully! He went back to his curd and stored it in the refrigerator and gesturing that I should follow him out of the kitchen. I followed him up to the rec room and he went about setting up a game on the big screen. Standing awkwardly near the door, I just watched and waited for any sort of cue as to what I should be doing. Come on, Dave! Let's get some gaming in before he bears steals you away for the night. What do you want to play? How about we start with some co-op and then move into something more competitive? Oh no! But I suck at those kinds of games! What do you mean? I haven't even said what it is we're playing. Doesn't matter, you're better at games than I am. I suppose that's fair enough. Let's stick to games where we can team up for now. We both fell into a beanbag as if we were gaming at home, thinking back to the times where Orlando would come over and bring his consoles with him when I didn't go over to his. This is so cute. Look at them. Look at the scrunklies. Look at the babies. It's sad that they both die. It happened a lot more than me going over to his place, and I suppose I knew now why, given his family. Still, it was just one of those things where this felt familiar. It felt like home. I am the same height as Dave. Like, legally. Like, on my ID. And going by that one height chart thing. Me and him are the same height. I don't know what to do with that information. I like home. So, what's first? Feel like cooking. What do you mean? You know, the one where each of us control a different hand and try and complete orders. That sounds like a nightmare. Also, that doesn't really sound like it'd really work all that well. What about, what's about the one with the portals? The science one? Oh shit, it's Portal! Which Portal? There's Portal and then there's Portal 2. The science one? Last time we tried that, it felt dumb and you got frustrated that we were stuck on the same puzzle for an hour. I admitted that was my fault. We couldn't have gotten the mod, then stuck to just the base game. What about some sort of adventure game? Like the one with guns? Guns? You don't mean the side scroller with the knights? Oh, if they have that, I'd play that. Or the one with Rainbow Unicorn and the balls that bounce around. Terraria. And what's that one? The one with the Rainbow Unicorn and the balls that bounce around. Fucking... I don't know. My Little Pony and fucking... any of these visual novels, with the exception of No More Future. I don't fucking know. I don't know, fucking My Little Pony Friendship is Magic or some shit. I used to fucking love that show. That last one isn't even multiplayer, Dave. It isn't? Orlando booted up one that looked familiar, and we were running around the screen in no time as brightly colored knights. So tell me, Dave, are you going to miss us doing this when you're spending all your time with Dean from now on? What do you mean? Well, I imagine that you'll be wanting to spend all your time with a loving boyfriend doing who knows what when it's all official. Like what? I don't know. Probably sex, like all the time. When he said it, my controller slipped out of my grip and I promptly died to an oncoming boulder. Oh shit, they're playing Mario. Or gardening, something outside maybe. But sex all the time? What, like the idea? Do you think he would, though, want that? Don't you? I think Dean might have you beat as far as libido, but, well, what? He's not the most insatiable person I've known, at least. So you'll probably be fine. I've got lube and stuff if you need it after tonight. Why do I get the impression you want this to happen more than I do? I'm just excited for you, everything that comes with a loving boyfriend, and sometimes that includes, you know. When we completed the level, I sat my controller down thinking about it. What's it like having a boyfriend? What makes you think I know? Just how you talk about it, I guess. I'd assume that you'd have had someone, but be interested by now. I've had some people interested, sir. Like who? Fairly certain that green-horned ram from Anime Club liked me at some point. He was a little skittish around me. Oh, really? That's what that meant? Orlando the controlling goach. Honestly, I didn't think so at first and just assumed you were Thai, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. But you two never, you know... Oh, no, he never said anything. He shrugged, shaking his head. Besides, I had my eyes on someone else, not that he ever noticed. Who? He ruffled the fur atop my head, laughing. God, you're dumb sometimes, Dave. Sorry. Honestly, it's fine. I think it's better this way. Really? You're sure? Look, all I ask is that you end up happy, Dave. Maybe also to give me the finer detail than anything interesting that happens between you and Dean. Maybe, but we'll see if I'm comfortable talking about all the details after it happens, right? I'll take them. I'll take them, maybe. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Just if you're ready to get beaten in a game, might be my last time to flex my superior gaming skills over you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, come on, you don't need to do that, Orlando. Need? No. What? Well... Okay, fine. Couple of games. At least I get to pick which one I'm gonna get beaten in, alright? Fifth me, fine. Which are you picking? The go-kart one. I want to play that one. God damn it! Mario Kart. Most likely Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the DLC, knowing how little I do about Oswin. Son of a bitch. Mario Kart 69 Mario Kart 69 Rainbow Road Odyssey. The go-kart one, I want to play that one. Yes, sir, you just liked it when we played that one against one another. Well, they've gotten better. You never know. Then how about we bet on it? A bet? Why? That's a bit of fun, not interested. Depends on what you wanted to bet. How about if I win, I get 1 kith before Dean gets dibs on them all? But what about if I win? I don't think there's anything I really want. How about if you win? I'll teach Dean how to make all the nice sweets and stuff you like. That way you can have them anytime you like. Oh, that would be kind of nice, yeah. Great, then we'll do, say, best of 7. So why do you need to win 4 and then I get as many treats as I want? After I teach them the Dean, and after you make them, I suppose so. It'd been a while since I'd been treated to what was functionally an all-you-can-eat buffet of Orlando's desserts. And for a brief moment, all reason went out the window. Deal! Now, don't go complaining when you lose. We booted up the first game, and it wasn't even a contest, Orlando having gone around the lap and passing me somewhere around lap 2. The second race wasn't that much better, although he threatened to pass me. He never did. Lingering just behind me felt stressful, though, as I went into race 3 very uncertain. Not looking too good, huh, Dave? No, not really. How about I play one hand for the next one, see if that's any easier. He wiggled the fingers of one hand and put it behind his back, showing me that he only had one hand on the controller. I think I'll feel worse if you win like this, honestly. Well, you better win, then. Sure enough, it was close, but I pulled ahead and crossed the finish line first. The second time with Orlando's handicap, it was a no contest, him having fumbled on the controller more than once given the size of his hands against the controller. Uh-oh. Another race and I'd won 3 in a row, one more and I was home free. That's when Orlando started using his other hand again, winning the 6th race and putting us tied. What's the last course going to be, Dave? You pick. The rainbow one. I want the rainbow one. And we set off, a lump in my throat as I desperately tried to catch up. Uh-oh. About halfway through the race, I passed Orlando on a tight turn and I laughed nervously, whining as I could see him just behind me threatening to pass. The final lap came and we kept swapping who was ahead of who. The last turn, something happened. Uh-oh. The controller slipped from Orlando's grip, but he caught it. It was enough for me to pull ahead, though, and cross first. I won? Seems like it, yeah. I jumped up from my spot on the floor, throwing my controller aside, looking at the screen, declaring me the winner of our 7-race competition. I won! Orlando, look! I've never beaten you at one of these before. My body started to move on its own, doing a small jig to try and shake the excitement and giddiness from my system. Did you see? Who's the epic gamer now, Orlando? Me! I'm the epic gamer. Oh no. A deep chuckle from the doorway snapped me back to my senses. It was at that point that I also noticed that Orlando had disappeared, and I suddenly wondered how long I'd been in my own little world just dancing. Now, if this isn't the cutest thing... If this isn't the cutest thing I've seen in a while. I laughed, embarrassed, but Dean quickly crossed the room to stand in front of me. Didn't know you danced when you were happy, Dave. I just beat Orlando in a game. Ah, so that's why he was heading downstairs so quickly. Oh, that's where he went? He needs to teach you how to cook now, too, actually. Maybe that can wait until after he's made dinner. Well, for now... He took my hand and quickly twirled me around, catching me as I started to wobble. Can't say I'm very good at dancing, but we could dance together for a little bit if you want. We have the time. We do? Sure! He started moving my hands back and forth, shimmying his hips all the while. Had a good day so far? I was going to come talk to you, but instead Orlando stole me away for video games. Want to come talk to me? What about? I don't know, just I like being around you, I guess. Well, I'm flattered. Sorry I had to throw Orlando at you, but I had a surprise I was working on for tonight. There seems to be a lot of surprises happening today. Not a fan? More like this, just making me wonder if I should have prepared any sort of surprise for you. Don't worry about it, Dave. Tonight's all about you. Maybe consider it a birthday present or an early Christmas present. But it's not either of those things. And who's to say we can just do something nice for someone we care about? I don't deserve that, do I? Come now, you don't really think that, do you? I guess it just feels a little selfish, that's all. I'd much rather share it around, you know? Well, you'll be sharing it with me tonight at least, right? That's true. Speaking of, are you ready? Mostly, but could we just chat for a bit? Everything alright? Yeah, I just wanted to chat, spend time with you, that's all. Pulled me down into a beanbag and had me in his lap, resting back with the hand on my hip to support me. What's on your mind? Nothing much, really, just thinking about us. Good things, bad things. Good, I think. I'm just wondering what's going to happen after this, I guess. That's what you're worried about? Yeah, like, Orlando was talking to me about it and commented about your libido. Hey, I can behave. We've been over this before. I know. He leaned down and kissed me on the cheek, and I turned to him to kiss him back. We broke away briefly, both of us looking back to the door and seeing that we were alone. Before going in for another kiss, his hand scratched the back of my head and I leaned forward to press my chest against his. He shuffled us around so he was kneeling on the ground with me sinking back into the beanbag and him looming over me to continue kissing. Dean. He pulled back with a smile, looking me over. That's all you get until later if all goes well. You think it won't? Oh, I'm sure it will, just reminding you that there's more to come later. He got up and brought me with him, taking my hands and rubbing the backs of them with his thumbs. Alright, I think it's about time I get ready for tonight. Oh, sure, should I, Well, I think you look great already, but if you want to grab a shower and freshen up for our date, then by all means. If that's what you're doing, I should do the same, right? Entirely up to you, but if I'll be going to do that, and I'll swing by your room to pick you up. Such a gentleman. You know it. I'm not even going to say anything. You know it. Unless you had anything else you needed me for. Nope, I guess I'll see you in a bit then. He wandered off with a spring in his step, looking back as he got to the door and gave me one last wave before disappearing out of sight. This was good, right? A break from everything, if only just for a bit. The prospect was sinking in now, and I hurriedly made my way to my room to get ready. I got to my room and jumped in the shower. The water was hot and I took my time getting clean. The thoughts of what Dean and I could potentially be getting up to afterwards if things went well had an effect on me too. I made sure I was clean. Thoroughly. Just in case. I'd forgotten most else that was going on in tunnel vision on the prospect of going on a date. Was this what it was going to be like from now on? Was this feeling actual affection for Dean or just excitement that someone was actually taking me out on a stereotypical date? For a moment I'd forgotten everything that had been going on as of late. The murders, the people in the woods, even being trapped on the mountain. Losing myself in the fruity scent of my shampoo and the heat of the water, I took myself back to a happier place. Somewhere far away from the mansion. Thinking about home or a beach resort, my friends were there and I wondered what it'd be like to properly have a boyfriend. These thoughts carried me through getting dry and then getting dressed after. I was only taken out of my daydreaming when I heard a knock on the door, Dean's cheery voice flowing in from the other side. Hello? Is Dave home? Chuckling, I wandered over to the door, greeted to Dean leaning against the doorway. Hope you're ready for dinner. I think so. Haven't had much to eat today. Great! That means you got room for some of the best food I've been able to source. He pulled me carefully through the doorway and closed the door to my room behind me. Two of us heading downstairs. Pie. Seriously, I want to read the pie scene again. What did you say his name was? Rami? That's right, yeah. Oh no. Did you just... What? I ain't gotten to say anything yet. No, before that, you said Rami? Oh yeah. Watanuki Senpai taught me this recipe. Taught me a few others, but figured I'd bust this one out given he said that he tested it with bears before. Hang on. I just want to make sure that I'm not tripping. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not tripping. Oh, it's Rami? I thought it was Rami. Anyways, if I'm not mistaken... Oh, it's Rami. Oh no. But no, if I'm not mistaken, it's this guy right here. Hang on, let me just... this guy. I know I use light mode. I'm a fucking disgrace to human society. If I'm mistaken, it's him. Which would mean that, one of the developers is Watanuki Senpai. Honestly, good for him. I know I'm a horrible person. I use light mode. But I'm slowly transitioning back to dark mode. Oh yeah. Watanuki Senpai taught me this recipe. Oh yeah. I look between Dean and Orlando, slowly piecing it together. Granted, bears always seem to be a touchy subject with him ever since what his ex did to him. He always found it kinda tough to talk about. Had me promise I wouldn't let a bear break my heart, too. The guilt on Dean's face was all too clear and he shrank in his chair. But it's a good recipe, at least I think so. I think the pie is good, yeah. What's gone into you, Dean? You're the one that asked for a pie. I didn't think you'd make his pie, though. I watched as Dean and Orlando stared at each other, eyes wide. One looked panicked, the other slowly piecing things together as I continued to enjoy my pie. So we got Dean over here flipping the fuck out, Orlando piecing shit together, and Dave's over here just enjoying pie like a little goober. Wait. You! Dean threw his hands up. Me? You? And Rami? Seriously? This might be a bad time. Can I have more pie? I fucking love Dave. He's like, this might be a bad time. Can I have more pie? Or
Raimi.
Orlando slid what pie was left on Dean's plate over to me and stared Dean down. I was a little worried when Dave said that he'd had a bear so interested in, but now it all makes sense. What makes sense? You and I are going to have a long talk after this, Dean. A long talk. What'll I do? You know what you did to that Tanuki. If you think I'm going to let you do the same thing to Dave, you got another thing coming. But that was how long ago? What? Orlando spanks the Dean. Like, Dean hasn't done anything bad to me so far, so... how long ago would it have been? Can we talk about Rami later? I didn't know you two knew each other, too, but, okay, fine. Let me get you a new piece of pie, too.
It's pronounced Raimi Theta.
Hang on. I wanna solve this, like, once and for all.
Self-voicing enabled. Dean, can we talk about Rami later? I didn't know you two knew each other too, but day 19. Self-voicing disabled.
Yeah, I was right. Okay, fine. Let me get the new piece of pie too. Sorry about that. Before, sounds like I should be apologizing for being there for that. Yeah, it's alright. Probably better that it's out in the open now anyway. You have no idea how much of a relief it is knowing we had our first date. Really? You don't think so? I guess I never really thought about it that way. Maybe not relief, but I had a good time. And I'm glad. I didn't expect you and Orlando to both know your ex-boyfriend, though. That's going to be something I'll have to talk about with Orlando at some point. It sounded bad, or... There are two sides to every story, Dave. I don't know what Orlando knows, but I'd be curious to know what happened to Rami after high school. But why? Stop a bit for the ad. And I'm gonna take off this hoodie. Fucking shoe. Just, there we go. Oh! Yeah! Ta-da! Oh god. He went to say something before falling quiet, looking up at the sky again. I followed his gaze before returning to look at him, worried about something. Did you... Oh no! Which one? Hey, yo! We got one for love. I at least want to get to day 20. Got another for love. Or Rami. Rami. Let's just go with love, see what happens. I should probably save real quick. I'm just going to create a quick save. See if it goes wrong. I think. Nah, and I'm pretty certain about that one. Oh, yeah? Why? Tyson's... No, fuck. I am a disappointment to society. I am a disappointment to human society. Animal society, if there is one, I am probably still a disappointment. Dean's smile faltered for a second, his eyes going wide, and I saw him gulp. His cheeks were going red even under his fur, and he leaned in close. Wait. Yeah. On instinct, I backed up a little, confused, but stopped when I felt one of his hands take mine and he looked deep into my eyes. Oh no, because I accidentally called Dean Tyson. His voice dropped down to a whisper, or maybe something slightly softer than that. My ears perked forward to catch every syllable he spoke in case I missed it. Because you what? My voice dropped down to the same level as his and I leaned in closer, our muzzles an inch apart at most. Because His hand snaked up my arm, resting on my shoulder as he just looked into me, venturing up further to hold my cheek before he finished his thought. Oh god damn it, am I getting Pavloved? Am I getting fucking Pavloved? The dog is barking. And I might be getting Pavloved. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see what that is. And I'm back. But seriously, am I getting fucking Pavloved? Am I getting... Am I getting fucking... Am I getting punked? Am I on a fucking prank show or stunt? Am I... Is this a fucking... Whatchamacallit? Is this a fucking Jackass clip where I'm about to get pranked bad? Because I don't know if I'm getting pranked or if this is actually psychologically happening, or I'm getting fucking Pavloved. I don't fucking know what. His hand snaked up my arm, resting on my shoulder as he just looked into me, venturing up further to hold my cheek before he finished his thought. Because I love you. Ah! This is so adorable! Oh, I've been insane. The sudden gasp I made was cut off as he leaned in close and kissed me, pulling me tenderly closer. I slid my arms up his chest and around his neck, pulling him closer still, wanting to be as close as possible. The feeling was mutual, as his hand soon found the small of my back and he pulled me up to him. It was the single best kiss I've ever gotten from Dean, better than our first kiss by far. It was hard to explain. It is. The usual feeling of him wanting me in the most carnal of ways wasn't there, replaced with something softer. I felt desired, but more than just for the bedroom. One of my hands found its way to his chest and I could feel the steady, heavy heartbeat of the bear in front of me. One of his found the back of my head, cradling me carefully as he broke away. Doesn't even come close, I promise. I could feel my heart thumping in my chest hard and I started to chuckle, and then laugh nervously. Dean, I had his full attention. I could tell the moment I opened my mouth. Yeah? My throat felt dry, and in that moment, I wondered exactly how I felt about Dean. Was I just caught up in the moment, or was this feeling inside the real deal? The longer I thought it over, the more he just watched me with that warm smile. I love you, Dean. Seconds passed after the words left my mouth, croaked out in something resembling a whisper, or a secret only for him. I moved forward on my own, pressing my muzzle to his and taking the initiative in another kiss, closing my eyes. Much like before, his arms wrapped around my body and held me close as he kissed me back. As we broke apart, I shivered, chuckling slightly. Is it just me or is it cold out? I think that's just excitement. You think so? Of course, I'm feeling too. That sort of jittery feeling after you get after something nice has happened. So we're together now, right? I think so. Yeah, officially. He took my hand in his and gave it a gentle squeeze. I think we are finally boyfriends. I laughed at the idea. That had taken us this long to get to this point, but it felt right somehow. I knew above all else was that I was happy. Should we go tell Orlando the good news? We could. Or, well, maybe I want to spend time with my boyfriend some more without anyone else. What did you have in mind? I didn't get that far, really. We could go watch a movie, we could head to bed, and, well, both. Both is good. Or, have someone else in mind? Placed a hand on his thigh as we sat there looking at him bashfully. Oh! I mean, we have the rest of the night ahead of us, right? We do, yes. And I guess it's something that I've been curious about more since the first time. I'm interested, trust me I am, but there's nothing that has to say we have to do anything tonight. As much as I know I'd like to. And if I want to, Orlando said he had lube already. Dean quaked with laughter, shaking his head. He sure did think of everything, didn't he? Kaz is just going out of his way! Didn't he? So, movie or... He took me by the hands and stood up, bringing me with him. His face turned into a roguish grin, and I knew his answer before he had even said anything. I think we should head to bed. I don't trust it. I don't fucking trust it. I think we should head to bed. The two of us hurried along upstairs and darted into Dean's room. The door closing the moment he had me to himself. He peeled off his shirt and pinned me against the door, bringing me into a deep kiss. I realized properly just how strong he was until he was handling me like this, working our clothes off down to our underwear before he carried me over to the bed. I'm not reading that. Not that Dean was any better, but he sounded exhausted even with the goofy smile on his face. Wait here. I'll get you a towel. wait, I gotta reread that one. Wait here. I'll get you a towel. I stumbled up out of bed, waddling over to him as he stood by the bathroom door. May as well just take a shower again, huh? I know. Sileo. That is always going to be my answer to that. Sileo. And so we did. Much like when we were in bed, each action Dean made was slow and deliberate. Ignoring the fact that we went again, he made sure everything was washed and cleaned, even despite the water running cold at one point. The pizza. No! Which pizza? No. It's not the pizza box. It's not the pizza box. It's the fucking river scene. The fucking river scene. Although the pizza box still hurt me. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Damien. Sorry. Yeah, I just feel like I've run a marathon. Me too, although, time for you to rest your butt in bed and drift off to sleep? In a bit, yeah. Something still left to do? You don't want to go a third time, did you? No, not this time. Just thinking about thinking Orlando again or checking in with the others. Post-traumatic Sileo disorder, oh no. Oh, of course, I guess I could go tell Sal the good news as well. Dean put on some pants when looking for Sal, whereas I did the same and went looking for Orlando. He was still in the kitchen, eating some ice cream at the counter. Didn't seem as though he heard me come in, though. Orlando? Huh? What? He spun around and looked at me, half-dressed as a smile started to form. I'll count that as a win. What? Well, from how you dressed, I'm guessing the date went well. Really well. Well, Dean and I are officially now, at least. He gestured for me to come closer, and I stood next to him as he continued to eat his dessert. I'm happy for you, I really am. You did most of the work in that last bit, Orlando, so thanks. Just if he gives you any trouble, you let me know. I'm sure X would love to hear about him screwing up another relationship if it happens. Please be nice, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know I'm happy. And that's all that matters, Dave, really. I leaned in closer and gave him a hug, and he gave me one back, squeezing gently. Heading back to bed now? I think so. Well, actually, have you seen Tyson? I think I saw him wandering around. Don't know why, though. I'll have a look, thanks. See you in the morning. I left the kitchen and spotted Ty immediately outside. Ty? Yeah. He turned to look at me, smirking. Someone looks like they had fun. Kinda, yeah. Thing with Dean go alright? Yeah, we're a couple now, I think. Boyfriends, or I don't know, we're a thing. You're a brat. I shot him a look and we both chuckled. You happy? Yeah. Then why are you out here with me? Take my bed tonight, Ty. Dude, gross, I know what that means. You slept well enough in it last night, didn't you? Figured I'd just extend the invitation again. Alright, but if you want it back after tonight, just let me know. Sure, but I think I'm gonna head back to Dean. Just wanted to make sure you were doing okay. His turn to go, he grabbed me quickly by the wrist, looking me over. Thanks. You're welcome? Even if you're dating him, you've still got me, you know? Brothers or whatever. I know, Ty. Well, good. Night, Ty. Yeah, sleep well, you dork. I returned to the bedroom before Dean did and sat around, making sure my phone was set off to the side. Sorry it took a bit. It's no problem. How'd it go? Chewed me out a little bit for taking so long to get to this point, but he's happy for us. That's good. And you thanked Orlando? I did, and he also said, if you give me any trouble, I should let him know. Of course it did. Dean flicked off the light and stood in front of me as I sat on the bed. How are you feeling? Good, but can I ask a favor? Of course, what's up? Can you tell me that you love me again? Just, it feels so surreal still, that this is happening. He chuckled, kicking off his pants and stroking my cheek. I love you, Dave. You're a sweet, kind, and very handsome hyena. You make me giddy just knowing that at least now, you're all mine. Dean's moves are real. He leaned down and kissed me sweetly on the muzzle, stroking my head. Carefully, he eased me back without taking his muzzle off mine until we were dangerously close to falling over. Now, come on, time for bed. For a moment, I thought that what clothes we were wearing would soon end up on the floor again, but Dean just held me close, cuddling me tight. I wrapped my arms as best I could around his bulk, feeling him relax against me. I felt safe, warm, loved, and the steady thudding of his heartbeat was quickly putting me to sleep. It was anything and everything I could have asked for after so long of waiting. Not that I had been much better, but despite everything, we'd finally taken the plunge. Most importantly, it felt right. Dean cradled me in his arms, resting my head on his chest with an arm around my shoulders. Losing myself against his soft fur, warm body, and the slightly sweet honey smell that lingered from his shampoo, I succumbed to sleep peaceful, but most importantly, happy. And we're going to leave off here tonight. So a lot happened, and process it. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.